mitä Iapi. Hoa peitukin de. Detser vahibrita kaunka. Niin itu tistana. Chantesid vahibrita kiga. Ka yewa kantaka. Tukte ona taku ichunga is aeka ha. Hanata komni tuoda anapta kiisne. O tehika tohanta se edun kiipe. Ka hecha na maunipta. Vuotsa ke witsamuda ba. Tana taku ke. Unkoachniga ba. Hecha na mauni uhiapta. My friends and relatives, I came here, with a sad heart because, one of the workers that, works here, lost somebody significant in her life. And when that happens, it affects everybody, people that we work with, family, it's tough. We feel the pain for them. So, I want to, before we start, I want to say a prayer, for the family and also for everybody and for the people out there that are listening. Hanahitsite. Atokashara wakanta kaito. Kuritoa hitwaga. O tehika en wibash. Ta komni hachana maunipta. Takoktena. Waka hached ikoake. Taya maunipta. Oktia hached. Due tukte ino nachichpach by maningash. And I won't kikchaba. Taya manikta hached. Tena datser unshe hoichicha pea. Kaki jana kuwa wanga kapking na. Anakop taya kapi. Hena iza unshi wichakidaya. Taya hached ya kapte. Taku. Jona nagash. Hena uspeba. Tokatakia yohamanipte. Tena datser unshe hoichicha pea. Wakantaka tokashira. Ushi madavia omakiam. Mitakiwas. Oh, my YouTube people. Today, I will just, do some words, some phrases, and do what we can. Like I said, it's hard, when a loved one leaves us and, that's all we think about, what happened. We ask a lot of questions and that's okay. That's normal. As humans, we're not perfect, but sometimes, we just like we seem to want the answers right away, but sometimes again, it's none of our business. But, we must go on no matter what and think of the family. So today, earlier before I came, I was thinking of some phrases, to put out there. And do you think I'll remember those phrases? But I'll, make some up as I go along. And the first word, that I'm going to use is shkata. 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 That means to play. Play. Shkata. Shijecha shkata pi. Shijecha shkata pi. Shijecha shkatapi. Shijecha shkatapi. Shijecha shkatapi. The children are playing. Shijecha shkatapi. 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 Ushkatapi. 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 We are playing. Ushkatapi. Kchi washkate. Kchi washkate. Kchi. You have to really listen to that. The K and the C, the CH, that comes together. You can't separate the K and the CH. Kchi. 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 Kchi washkate. Kchi washkate. Kchi washkate. I am playing with her or him. Kchi washkate. I am playing with her or him. Kchi. Kchi. Like both of us. Kchi. Both of us are playing, or I'm playing with him or her. Kchi washkate. Excuse me. Mani uge badatke kte. Mani uge badatke kte. Mani uge badatke kte. I am going to drink some water. Washte. Mani washte. The water, it's good. Okay, and back to shkata. Due oas shkata pi. Due oas shkata pi. Due oas shkata pi. Due oas shkata pi. Everybody is playing. Due oas shkata pi. Due oas shkatapi. Everybody is playing. Shunka nanku shkatapi. Shunka nanku shkatapi. Shunka nanku shkatapi. Shunka nanku shkatapi. The dogs are playing. The dogs are playing. Shunka nakushkatapi. Like even the dogs are playing. Shijecha. Shijecha. Iokpia. Iokpia. Shkatapi. Shijecha. Iokpia. Shkatapi. Shijecha iokpia shkatapi. The kids or the children are playing happily. Shijecha iokpia shkatapi. So, these are just little phrases that, when you are trying to talk with somebody, you see kids playing these, you can use these, or somebody that's playing shkata, shkatapi. Shkatapi is they are playing. Shkata is just, play, to play. But you can add shunka, shijecha, tanka, the big kids. Shijecha is kids or children. Tanka is big. Shijecha tanka shkatapi. The big kids are playing. Shijecha tanka shkatapi. Ure ianka happy. Ure ianka happy. Ure ianka happy. Some are running. Some are running. That means referring to the kids. Si just skatapi. Ure na ku ianka happy. Si just skatapi. Ure na ku ianka happy. The children are playing and some are running. Si just skatapi. Ure ianka happy. So, this is, referring to, children playing. So, the next one I want to use is wota. Wota. Wota is eat. Wota. Wana wota. Wana wota. Eat now. Hiu wana wota. Hiu wana wota. Hiu. Hiu is come. Wana. Now. Wota. Eat. Hiu wana wota. Come and eat. Come and eat now. Hiu wana wota. Come and eat now. So, you can say that to, your family. Come and eat now. Hiu wana wota. Wana wa unta pte. Wana wa unta pte. Wana wa unta pte. We are all going to eat now. Wana wa unta pte. We are all going to eat now. Wa tekte. Wa tekte. You and I are going to eat. Wa tekte. You and I are going to eat. Wa tekte. Wa tekte. Wa tekte. Wa tapte. Wota. Wota is eat. Wawate. I am eating. Wayate. Wayate. You are eating. Tue owas. Wotapi. Tue owas. Wotapi. Everybody is eating. Tue owas wotapi. Everybody is eating. So just a review on skata. Skatapi. Skatapi. You and I are playing. Skatapi. You and I are playing. So, when, especially with myself, when I am teaching the language, I like to teach it slow and kind of speed it up at the end, because we have to remember to make sure, we catch the proper pronunciation, because the pronunciations of some of our words are very important that you say it properly. Because, sometimes if you don't, it may not mean anything. Sometimes, it may mean something else. So, we really have to listen to the proper pronunciation. Ake mani urebrat kekte. Ake mani urebrat kekte. I'm going to drink some water again. Ake is again. Many water. Brat kekte. Drink. Ake mani uge brat kekte. I'm going to drink some water again. because my mouth gets very dry. Iki nina mapuza cha. Iki nina mapuza cha. My mouth gets very dry. Iki nina mapuza cha. My mouth gets very dry. So my words, are always repetitive. I feel that that's the only way sometimes I can teach it so as the one that is listening will capture the words, the pronunciations, how it needs to be said or done. So that's why, I take it slow. Mani uge bratke kte. 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 So you kind of put it together, all at once, it seems. Mani uge bratke kte. So it makes more sense. But to start off with it, it's better to say it very slowly. So, our words, can be tricky. Like the, what I just said, the K and the CH, those, need to be set together. You can't separate those. Kchi, kchi, kchi. You can practice that. Kchi. You can feel it in your throat. Kchi, kchi. There's muscles in our mouth that, that we hardly ever use. But, if somebody is very fluent and always talking the Dakota language, it is easier for them because their muscles are working properly, and they're putting them into action. So, but if you are a new speaker, some of the words can, become very hard to pronounce, because you can't seem to put it together right away. So that's why, it's better to just say kchi, 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 not kichi. It's kchi, kchi, kchi is together. Kchi, kchi bedekte, kchi bedekte, kchi bedekte. I'm going with him or her. Kchi bedekte, kchi. So another, while I was just saying that, another word came to mind, which is that you cannot separate. It has to do with kind of in the throat too. Ooh, ooh. You can hear it, feel it in your throat. Mag-oo, mag-oo, mag-oo. That means give me. Mag-oo. Just like, we've said it, we used it before. Mag-oo. Mani uge, mag-oo. Mani uge, mag-oo, mag-oo. Ota, mag-oo. Ota, lots. Mag-oo, give me. Give me lots. Mani ota, mag-oo. Give me lots of water. Mani ota, mag-oo. Mani ota, mag-oo. And the next one that sounds similar to mag-oo, mag-oo, is maku, maku. They're both spelled the same way. Maku, maku. Maku is chest. Mak'u is give. Give me. Maku is chest. Maku mayaza. Maku mayaza. I have a sore chest. Maku mayaza. I have a sore chest. Maku omashichaye. Maku omashichaye. My chest is not feeling well. Maku omashichaye. So, they're both spelled the same way, but, that pronunciation for, usually we just put a mark, under the K for mag'u, mag'u. And maku is, maku. So you have to be careful when you say that word, when you ask for water. Don't say, mani uge maku, mani wa maku. That's not, the proper way. You just say mag'u, mag'u. You have to really listen to it. Mag'u, mani uge mag'u, mani mag'u. Maku mayaza, maku, 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 mayaza. My chest is sore. Maku, mag'u, mag'u, maku. So keep saying those. Maku, mag'u. They both have a different meaning. Maku, mag'u. And another word that came to mind as I'm saying this is maga, maga, maga. Maga is like a field. Maga, when farmers, work their land. Maga, maga. And the other one is maga, maga. That's a goose. Maga, 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 maga. Again, they're both spelled the same way. M-A-G-A. One has a dot underneath. Maga, 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 maga. The emphasis is maga, maga. So, really listen to it. Maga, maga. Maga, maga. So it's, some of our words can be tricky. And then again, when you continue to keep saying the words over and over, you'll catch on to it, and understand, the meaning of the word. I'm going to drink some water again. Dokachega tohashta ima puzik strwaishne. Dokachega tohayashta ima puza strwaishne. I don't know why I become thirsty and my mouth becomes dry. That's what I said. Dokacha tohayashta ima puzik strwaishne. I don't know why my mouth becomes dry. Maybe I talk too much, but, we, I can't even say it. Maga, maga, those two words, concentrate on those two words. And also what I just said before, kchi, kchi, kchi. Those are tricky words, I would call them. Kchi, maku, maku. And there's, other words, that have similar words that are spelled the same, but, say it in a different sense. I've just tried to think of some words. But we'll go on to Spaya. Spaya is to cook. Spaya, cook. Spaya, cook. Bado, spa, wa, yeah. Bado, spa, wa, yeah. I cook potatoes. Bado, spa, wa, yeah. I cook some, no, not some. I cook potatoes. Spawa, yeah. Spawa, yeah. The wa is I, referring to me. Spawa, yeah. Whereas spaye, spaye is, you. Spaye. Spa. Spa is just, cook. Spa. Bado, spa. Potatoes are cooked. Bado, spaya, yeah. Bado, spaya, yeah. Did you cook potatoes? Bado, spaya, yeah. Bado, spawa, yeah. Bado, spawa, yeah. I cook potatoes. Okay, then we'll use ore, which is some. Bado, ore, spawa, yeah. Bado, ore, spawa, yeah. Bado, ore, spawa, yeah. Bado, ore, spawa, yeah. I cooked some potatoes. Bado, ore, spaya, yeah. Did you cook some potatoes? Bado, ore, spaya, yeah. That's, the he is the question. Bado, ore, spaya, yeah. Bado, ore, spaya, yeah. Did you cook some potatoes? Bado, ore, spawaya, yeah. Bado, ore, spauyan, yeah. Bado, ore, spauyan, yeah. We cooked some potatoes. Bado, ore, spauyan, Iapi. The PI is the plural. Spa'u. U is, like some people. Bado ure. Spa'u Iapi. We cooked some potatoes. Bado ure. Spa'u Iapi. We cooked some potatoes. Okay, manu gebret gekte. Baniki sninga was there. The water is just nice and cold. So, like spaya, you can add other things to it, like tado. Tado spaya. Tado spaya. Cooked meat. Tado spawaye. Tado spawaye. I cooked meat. Tado spawaya. I cooked meat. Tado spawaya. Did you cook some meat? Tado spawaya. Did you cook some meat? So these are some of the words that I wanted to kind of put out today. And I'm going to be closing off pretty soon. But, just to talk a little bit on the language like we always do. Our language is very, very important. We need to continue to keep saying the words that we know, the words that you learned. Keep saying them. Go back, to some of the lessons, or maybe you can start from the very beginning again and listen very carefully to the words. Because if we do that, continually, to do it, as often as we can, we are doing, I think, our 53rd now of, teaching this language. I don't know if it's episodes or so, but we've done a lot, So imagine all the words, that you heard. So you've listened to all these words. So now, it'll be good if you can just say them. Keep saying them. Say it to your children, your friend, parents, whoever. Even though they don't understand or they don't know what they're talking about, just keep saying it. Maybe they'll catch on, and maybe you will be teaching them. You never know, because, we learn from each other, and this is the best way to learn something sometimes, if we learn from each other and we continually say it. Don't get tired of it. And don't say, I'm tired of saying those words. No, because, if you are so interested in learning a language, you will never get tired of it. You will continue, to keep saying it. There's a lot of people out there, even white people, that are learning the language, and they do it because they want to. They want to understand and they want to learn. So if they are that interested in learning a language, our very own Dakota people should have that, in themselves too, to have that interest, to speak the language, because we don't want to lose our language. How the language was spoken maybe about 100 years ago, maybe even 50 years ago, our language was different. There is a lot of words that was used at that time that we don't use anymore because we don't see some of those nouns or objects. So therefore, or some of them are not done, like a lot of, because we are very ceremonial people, some of the ceremonies are forgotten, so we don't use those words anymore. I, for one, for instance, I don't use those words anymore because I never heard them. The words that my grandparents used to say or how they talked, I don't use those because, where would I use them? I remember, not too much, but very little of the words that they used at that time. One word that really stands out is, a word that my late father had said before he went to war, World War II. His grandfather said a word to him, and even my father, did not understand this word that he said to him. And he said, when you come back, de idadaga hichiaiga yahadika ha iwakchishni maeshni wo, is what he said. He said, when you come back, when you go and you come back, don't. And he said that word, iwakchishni maeshni wo. So I often, it's a good thing, when he was talking, I had a pen and paper. So when he said that word, I immediately wrote it down, and then I kept saying it over and over, and now it's in my head. So what that word meant, how, I kind of researched it and kind of came up with, it has something like to do with a society dance, because a long time ago when warriors used to go off to war, and when they came back, they brought back objects of some kind that they took from the enemy. It could be, maybe one of their lances or a spear or a horse, a piece of object that they took, even, scalps. So, we think, the people that I had talked to about it, we think, that's what, the grandfather had meant, don't let me do a society dance because of this object that you brought back. Something, along that line. But I'm not too sure on that yet. It's something that, I need to still look into it. So, my friends out there that are listening, share that word, ask, maybe an older person, or maybe even go beyond, and if you happen to go downstates and meet some Lakota people or other Dakota people, say this word to them. What does that mean? Kind of tell them that story. Maybe they'll come up with something else. I don't know. But, I'm still searching, and I'm very interested, to know exactly what that word means, because, my late father carried that word, all through his life till he passed on. So now I'm carrying that word, and I want to know what it means, hopefully, before I leave this earth. But, I have to start approaching people and asking, which I did, and, we kind of, talk about it and kind of put it together and, think about it, discuss it, kind of play around with the words, but maybe, it means what I had just said, but, I could be wrong. But I know it has something to do with society, because I looked it up in my Dakota dictionary. I had a hard time because everything is written in Dakota first and then translated into English. So, I had a hard time, but, it was kind of a society, like a Kit Fox society, and you hear about the Kit Fox societies in the States when they have their powwows, they come in, with the flags and everything. So maybe it's something similar to that. I don't know. But we will find out. So I just wanted to share that. And I'm going to close off. And I won't be around next week. I am quite busy. We formed a Ishnati society here in Sioux Valley. We Pusakawakpa. We're working with young girls. And next week there's going to be a buffalo kill. And we'll be a part of that. You know, the young girls will be taught how to harvest a buffalo. And, you know, because, you know, I am one of the elders that is involved in that, I have to be there with the girls, you know, to guide them along and to teach the language to them, you know, how to dress a buffalo, I guess, and, you know, how to cut up meat and things like that. So we're trying to bring that kind of things back again into our community because so much has been lost. And maybe, you know, some words, different words might, you know, come out of that. And I'm, you know, very excitedly, you know, looking forward to that. So I I wish you all well. You know, it's very hot outside. Weather is getting hotter, warmer. You know, I hope you all stay well. Drink lots of water like I'm doing because we don't want anybody to get sick and become dehydrated. So you look after yourself until, you know, next time, whenever I can do this program again. Thank you. Mitakyo.